Welcome to the final video in our series on executive compensation governance. This time we'll focus on preparing you for assessment, helping you demonstrate your understanding of this complex and controversial topic. Let's first give an overview of assessment. As an aspiring reward management professional, you'll be expected to showcase your knowledge of executive compensation governance through various types of questions. Let's explore some common question types and how to approach them. Question type 1. Definition and explanation. These questions test your understanding of key concepts and terminology in executive compensation governance. For example, define the Remuneration Committee and explain its role in executive compensation governance. An answer framework might be along the following lines, starting by providing a clear, concise definition, then explaining the committee's composition, mindful of diversity or lack of it, then outlining the primary responsibilities of the Remuneration Committee, and then discussing its significance in corporate governance more generally. You might add in some reflections on likely similarities and differences comparing for-profit businesses, public sector organisations and third sector entities. Question type 2. Analysis and application. These questions assess your ability to apply theoretical knowledge to real-world scenarios. For example, analyse the potential consequences of linking chief executive compensation primarily to short-term financial performance metrics. An answer framework might be along the lines of beginning by identifying relevant theories, for example, agency theory, stakeholder theory, then discussing potential positive outcomes, for example, increased short-term revenue growth. Going on then to exploring potential negative consequences, for example, short-termism, excessive risk-taking, and then considering the impacts on various stakeholders before suggesting more balanced approaches, weighing strategy, consequences in various contexts. Question type 3. Evaluation and critique. These questions test your ability to critically evaluate complex issues in executive compensation. For example, critically evaluate the argument that high executive pay is necessary to attract and retain top talent. Your answer framework might be along the lines, beginning by presenting the main argument for high executive pay, then discussing supporting evidence, for example, competitive market for executives. Moving then to presenting counter-arguments, for example, weak pay for performance linkage, social equity concerns, before going on to analyse relevant research and case studies, leading to you offering a balanced conclusion. Here are some tips for generating strong answers. First, demonstrate comprehensive understanding. It sounds obvious, but it's important to show that you grasp both the economic and social aspects of executive compensation governance. You may recall the video among the case studies titled Socialising Executive Remuneration. 2. Use relevant theories and concepts. Apply theories like agency theory, stakeholder theory, new institutional concepts, and corporate governance principles to underline the basis on which you can develop an argument and justify it. Underlining that justification, provide real-world examples. Use case studies from your course, from your personal experience or current events to illustrate the points you're making. 4. Consider multiple perspectives. Discuss the views of different stakeholders, executives, shareholders, employees, the public and their political representatives. 5. Engage critically. What we mean by that is don't just describe, analyse, evaluate and critique executive compensation policies and practices. 6. Structure your answers. Use clear introductions, well-organised paragraphs and concise conclusions. Sounds obvious, but it makes a real difference in terms of how the person assessing your contribution will be able to work through and arrive at a judgment as to what you really have demonstrated in terms of your understanding, your grasp of the topic. 7. Show awareness of controversies. Acknowledge the debates surrounding executive compensation governance, executive pay, without taking extreme positions. Remember, the goal is not just to recite facts, but to demonstrate a nuanced understanding of executive compensation governance. Apply the concepts you've learned to real-world scenarios, considering the complexities and controversies we've discussed throughout this series. Good luck with your assessments. And thanks again for joining us in this exploration of executive compensation governance.